Bro, you don't need to always explain yourself. Not everything requires an explanation. That's not to say that you're in a position to do whatever and not understand what you're doing and not being able to explain what you're doing. I'm just saying, not everything in this world requires an explanation. Sometimes you do what you do because it's in your best interest, right? When you catch yourself over-explaining a lot, that's a problem. That's a real problem, man. People can't take your word for it. You might as well be talking to a brick wall. And, I say the same thing, man. If you got to over-explain whatever it is that you've done or seen or been through, then you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, or you're talking to the wrong person. Fucking explanation. Sometimes you need to be consistent. Sometimes you just need to be consistent. Sometimes the results need to speak for themselves. Right? We're always going out of our way having to explain something to someone or go through some situation, and then we gotta revert what we've already said and all this goofy shit. Sometimes you just need to let it lie. Not everybody deserves an explanation. Think about that. I've said it a million times. This channel is not for no motivational bullshit. It's just my perspective on things and how I see certain things, right? And voicing my opinion on those things in a manner that is cohesive and organized, right? Like, I'm not nobody's professor. I'm not nobody's math professor. I'm not over here talking about, put on your. I'm not telling you to put on your dancing shoes. I'm just saying what I've already known, and I don't. My friend group, my social group, back in my high school days, man, they're doing their own thing. Everybody goes their separate ways. Everybody has to grow up on some level. At some point, you're constantly being tested to evolve. And, having to explain that all the time is ludicrous. You'll drive yourself insane. Got a lot of YouTubers that want to go out of their way to explain why my perspective is right or his opinion is wrong and her opinion is wrong. And I'm just like, man, fuck all that, man. I mean, if you stand on something, you stand on it. I could lay down the principles, I could lay down the testament. That doesn't mean that everybody's gonna follow it, But I don't like being put in a position where I have to over-explain myself, or I have to go out of my way to dig very, very deep to put into simple terms what I'm going through, or what I've seen, or what I've done. Now, that doesn't mean be inarticulate. It doesn't mean don't put your words into writing, into, put your thoughts into writing, into expressing yourself. I've already discussed the importance of creativity on this channel, so it doesn't mean don't have an explanation. It just means you shouldn't have to be in a position where you have to over-explain yourself. You got to take a step back on that. And this is for teenagers, tweeners, young adults, grown men, unks, aunts, girls, whatever. It's for everybody. It's not advice that's just exclusive to just males. the channel was for everybody, technically. You know, anyone could voice their opinion. But, you know, don't try to put me in a position where I have to over-explain something. Because I really don't want to. Let me stand on what I already stand on. I'm not perfect, but I'd rather be that.